Well, it's 6 p.m. Let's get started. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming out to today's Town Council meeting, the January 8th regular meeting of the Lewisville Town Council. Happy New Year to you all who came as well. We'll begin with our roll call, beginning from right to left of our council members.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Stacy Howard.
Good evening. I am Suzanne Newsom.
Good evening. I'm Mac Wilder.
Good evening, I'm Jerry Gallagher.
Good evening, I'm Brady Allen.
And I'm Fred Franklin.
All right, and my name is Billy Carter. All right. Also with us, we have our town manager, Stacy Tolbert. We have our town attorney, Mr. Al Andrews. We have our public works director, John Hanna. We have our planning director, Lynn Cochran. We have our town clerk, Miss Angie Lord, and also our finance director, Miss Pam Orrell. Thank you guys for all coming, and thank you for those who are watching at home, whether you're watching on Spectrum Cable News Channel 6, or if you're watching on Facebook Live. And also thank you to Veronica in the back as well. Veronica, am I good on my audio? Awesome. Thank you. I didn't want to assume. All right. Well, this evening we'll begin our meeting with an invocation from Councilmember Fred Franklin, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by myself.
Heavenly Father, thank you for another beautiful day and for the health that you have given us to enjoy it. Help us to always recognize when a neighbor may be in need and to extend a helping hand if we are able. As we gather together this evening, we ask for your spirit of unity to be present among us. Help us to put aside any personal agendas or differences and work together in harmony toward our common goals. Remind us of the words in Psalm 133:1. Behold, how good and pleasant it is when brothers dwell in unity. Let this be our desire as we engage in discussions that impact others. We trust that with your guidance and grace, we can achieve a sense of unity and work together effectively. May our words be filled with love and respect for one another. May our actions reflect the unity we strive for as we serve the citizens of Lewisville. In your holy name, amen.
Amen. We will now have the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, council members, you have received a copy of the agenda prior to today's meeting. Madam Clerk, do we have any additions or revisions to the agenda?
No, sir, we do not.
Awesome. Could I have a motion to adopt today's agenda?
Motion to adopt today's agenda.
All right, we have a motion from Ms. Jerry Gallagher.
A second.
All right, second from Stacy Howard. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
No opposed? That vote will be unanimous. All right. Next up, we will have the consent agenda. What the consent agenda is a grouping of items that are voted together because they are more routine from other parts of the agenda. I will now have our town manager introduce the consent agenda.
Thank you, Mayor. First, we have Resolution 2026-001, the financial statements for 5 months ended November 30th of 2025. Approval of draft organization meeting minutes, December 11th of 2025. Resolution 2026-002, to direct the clerk to investigate the annexation petition for 9420 Shallowford Road, which is Lewisville Volunteer Fire Department Station 13. And lastly, Resolution 2026-004, to call a public hearing for L115 rezoning request. That's for four-star, located at 6328 Robin Hood Road.
All right, council, any discussion?
Mayor, I'd like to remove items C and D from the consent agenda and place them under new business as items D and E. I actually believe these resolutions should be considered individually instead of in the consent agenda.
Any thoughts from any other council members on that?
If you don't mind elaborating,
Excuse me?
would you mind elaborating why you want the change?
Yes, ma'am, I will. Normally, the only things that are considered under consent agenda are approval of minutes and financials. These two items here are not routine on a monthly basis. One is establishing a public hearing. The other one is to direct the town clerk to do an investigation. Those, I believe, should not be included in the consent agenda and should be addressed individually as new business. Typically, we have done that in the past. If you will go back and look at minutes that are available on the town's website and look at the agendas for the council meetings in the past, I don't believe you would find actions such as these two placed under the consent agenda. So that's the only reason I'm doing it. We're still going to address the business. I recognize I was not at briefing because it was an odd and I was traveling, being back in December, or I'd have mentioned this then. So that's the reason I'm requesting that it just be placed under new business.
And Ms. Manager, can you confirm that this is the first time we have placed these items on the consent agenda?
Yes, sir, it is. We had discussed this at briefing, but
I'm sure.
in the absence of Mr. Franklin, if council feels that they would rather have these types of items removed, he is correct, they're not routine in that they come every month. They're just routine in the fact that they're not really necessarily a discussion item. There's not a presentation that goes along with it. So that's why we had discussed them being under consent. But if it's the pleasure of council to have these types of items just be under new business like they have in the past, then we are more than willing to not consider those for consent and continue to do those under new business.
Mayor, with that, I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda that includes items A and B, which are confined to the financials and the approval of of the organizational minutes. So you have a motion on the floor for approval of the consent agenda.
Sure, sure. One thing that I will add is I think it's a great thing to have your expertise and your years of experience, Fred, and I think this is one of those instances where I think it's best to follow your advice when it comes to how things have gone in the past, and so I would like to second your motion.
Thank you, sir. Call the question.
Oh, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that is unanimous. We'll make C and D, those will be new business items as opposed to part of the consent agenda. Awesome. And so the consent agenda has been approved with that change. Next, we typically would have our sheriff's department report. PJ actually is on a call right now, so we hope he's safe. We'll look forward to seeing him at next month's meeting, and we'll have that report from PJ, guys.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
will we still have the availability to see PJ's report perhaps in our email?
Yes, sir, we will be gladly, since BJ's not available tonight in order to present those, we will email those to council, and they're available at Town Hall if anybody else would like to take a look at those.
Okay, thank you.
Sounds good. Sounds good. All right, next, we will have the public forum. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the time for you to have a chance to speak to the council and to address us here. I do have one sign-up sheet from Mr. Hugh Quinn. I guess we'll have you begin. If there's any other folks who want to come up and make comments, feel free to come up. Mr. Quinn, if you could please state your name and address.
Sure. My name is Hugh Quinn. Live at 850 Crafton Creek Drive in Lewisville. I had one item. Now I've got three since I've been here. The first item is I enjoyed the newsletter reading about Mayor Carter's background, the little segment he did that. I would like to ask for each council member to do the same thing through the newsletter so we can get more of a background for you, for us to get to know you a little bit better. So I suggest that to the town manager as something they could possibly do through the newsletter in the future. The next item is I want to thank Mr. Franklin apparently for donating blood today.
I did.
Good,
Yes,
thank
I
you.
was going to endorse that at the council
Thank you
comments
for
at the
doing
end.
My last item is just interesting to want to know more about this. Right across the street behind the computer tech building, there have been 2 abandoned cars there forever. So is there any plan to get those removed from that area? I don't know if it's private property right there, but can there something be done about that? Because it's a distraction, I think. I mean, those cars have not been moved in many, many years, as far as I can tell. If they're way out of registration and things like that. So can you locate the owners? And I'm going to ask, that's a possibility for the town to look into that and see if we can get them removed from that area? Or is it the right of the property owner to leave them there indefinitely, even though they're not operable?
For the public session, I would love to meet with you one-on-one. We can actually have a meeting anytime you like, Hugh. I can get more information on that for you and be ready to have that meeting with you, so we'll definitely have that meeting.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, any other public comments? All right, we will now have our town manager begin our new business.
Thank you, Mayor. The first item of business is Resolution 2026-003. It is to amend Resolution 2025-039 for Oak Grove traffic mitigation for the addition of speed cushions. And John Hanna, our Public Works Director, will be covering that item tonight.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Resolution 2026-003 would authorize the Public Works Department to add a fourth speed cushion to our recent installation in the Oak Grove neighborhood. The original request from the Homeowners Association actually included 4 speed cushions or 4 installations, 2 of those happening on Fairhaven Road. Through our initial maps also showed that 4th one. We pulled the 4th out and took the overall number down to 3 initially to be sure we were staying within our kind of per project budget for this year. Subsequently, when we were out there installing the speed cushions on Fairhaven, we as a crew realized that quite glaringly realized that 4th cushion, that 2nd cushion on Fairhaven was really badly needed. Just because of the way the traffic moves through there, how much traffic comes through there, and how fast it comes through. We kind of even felt unsafe while we were doing the work in there because of the way that people use that road. And, of course, the point of all this is kind of slowing people down and making, changing some habits in there. Unfortunately, in our original resolution, we were very specific that we were installing 3 speed cushions in Oak Grove and doing the 4-way stop. So in order to do that 4th one, if we were allowed to, we needed to come back to you and amend the resolution to specifically request for that 4th one. The cost on this one would be $2,000 or $2,076, right around in there. We do feel at this point in the fiscal year we are safe in our traffic mitigation budget line item. We've got enough money left in that fund, and we don't have projects lined up past what we're doing now in Shallowford Lakes. We don't have any larger installations lined up for the spring, so we feel safe on using this money to put the 4th one in if you were to approve this resolution.
All right. Council, any discussion on this item?
No, I want to thank John. That was very much needed in that neighborhood, so thank you, John, the Public Works team.
You would know
Yes, sir.
firsthand, wouldn't you? Yep.
I just have one question, and this may be for Pam. After this speed hump goes in, approximately how much will be left in the budget for these speed hump projects for the remainder of the fiscal year?
So we originally budgeted $22,000 in that category. Up to date, we have spent $13,156. We have a little over $8,800 left. So if we were to make this expenditure, we'd have about $6,000 left, which would give us, allow us 2 further cushions in a neighborhood if we were to this year. And the only other neighborhood that we're currently studying only has room for 2 speed cushions.
Is that Shallowford Lakes?
No, that's actually Saddlebrook. Shallowford Lakes is getting their phase 1 installation right now. Actually, we put the first one in over there today.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Council, any further discussion? All right. Well, Council, what's your pleasure?
Motion to approve.
All right, we have a motion from Councilmember Fred Franklin.
Second?
Oh, we have a second from Brady Allen to approve the motion. All right. Next, we'll have our town manager announce the next.
Excuse me, Mayor, call the question.
Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. I do apologize.
Sorry.
All in favor, guys?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, thank you so much. That'll be unanimous. Thank you, Fred.
All right.
All right, we'll have our next our next item from Town Manager Stacy Tolbert.
Okay, next under new business is ordinance 2026-002 to amend the budget ordinance to increase for advertising in governing body department. This will be handled by Pam, our finance director.
This is ordinance 2026-002, amending budget ordinance 2025-001. This will increase the budget for advertising in the governing body department by $5,000. This advertising includes notices that we place in the Winston-Salem Journal for public hearings related to annexations and rezonings, and also the annual operating budget.
Awesome. Council, may I have a motion?
Motion to approve ordinance 2026-002.
I have a motion from Councilmember Brady. Do we have a second?
I second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
That will be unanimous vote, 7-0. Our next item will be from Ms. Town Manager Stacy Tolbert. Looks like it'll be ordinance 2026-003, amend Chapter 16, Article 2 of the Town of Lewisville Town Code in regards to balloons.
Right, yeah, this is something that we did discuss at briefing, and I'll turn it over to Town Clerk Angie Lord for more information.
Council, before you tonight is the ordinance for 2026-003. As we discussed at the briefing, there had been a restriction on latex balloons at the Mary Alice Warren Community Center, and based on the fact that we were losing rentals with this restriction, we were coming to council asking for that restriction to be removed. During the briefing, it was also requested that we add language to the code, placing a restriction on the release of balloons from any town facilities. So that is what is before council tonight.
All right, Council, any discussion? May I have a motion?
Motion.
All right, we have a motion to approve from Councilmember Mac Wilder.
Second.
All right, and a second from our Mayor Pro Tem, Stacey Howard. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, any opposed? All right, and that is unanimous. All right, next we will have our admin reports from our Town Manager, Stacey Tolbert.
I'll remind you, Mayor, that we did pull 2 items from the consent
That's right, we're
agenda.
doing C and, my apologies, yes. So we next have the item from the consent agenda, which was item number C. Item C, which is the resolution 2026-002 to direct the town clerk to investigate an annexation petition for 9420 Shallowford Road. This is the Lewisville Volunteer Fire Station, number 13.
And that'll be handled by our Town Clerk, Angie.
Yes, so council, we did receive a request for annexation by Fire Station number 13 just prior to, it was in early December, so it was just prior to the changing of the guard, so to speak. So tonight, what we're asking is that you would direct myself to invest the petition to make sure that it is appropriate, and once that's completed, then I will bring that back to you at the next meeting with a request to call a public hearing.
Awesome. And so that will be something for you to come back with for February's meeting?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, Council, any discussion on this item?
Yes, I had asked this at the briefing, and I'm just curious as to I don't know who would be the appropriate person to address this to, but the why of why they want to do a voluntary annexation.
To be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure on that, but we do know that they are a Lewisville fire station. A lot of what they serve is within the town limits of Lewisville. It had been discussed with a previous council on doing so, and so they were interested and asked, put in a petition to be annexed. It's not necessarily really a change for them. They're already a tax exempt because they're a fire station. There's not really any services that would get provided because they're not a residence in the town, such as trash removal, something like that. But I do think it's just kind of, since they are a Lewisville voluntary fire station, then to be inside the town limits was something that they were interested in doing. So.
Okay, thank you.
I'd like to chime in and remind the members that councils in the past have never turned down a voluntary annexation request, be it satellite or contiguous. And this now is a contiguous annexation versus a satellite annexation because it is contiguous to town. The town of Lewisville, in virtue of the recent actions that was taken by the past council a month or so ago with the vineyard, I've forgotten the name of the venue, but
It still actually would be considered satellite, even though it is next to a property that got annexed, because it is not in the actual corporate, the whole corporate limits. But, I mean, neither here nor there, it's still within the mileage that we can go out to annex.
But with that being stated, Manager, do we have to hold a public hearing for this one like they did for the
Yes, we
for the
still have to
satellite?
do
Okay, this
the
is
same
a
process.
satellite. Okay,
Yes,
thank
sir.
you. I apologize again for not being briefing. With that, I'll make a motion to approve this resolution 26-026-002.
Councilman Allen, did you have a statement?
I'm sorry.
Something to add, or?
I just wanted to confirm something with Madam Clerk. Can you confirm for the council and all who may be watching in our audience or at home, is it accurate that anytime a municipality receives a voluntary annexation request, that it is required for the elected body to direct the clerk to investigate the petition?
That is proper procedure.
Okay, thank you.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
Okay. Councilman Franklin, do you want to go ahead and give your motion?
I have made the motion.
Okay.
Mayor, I'm
Is there a
sorry.
second?
I second.
Oh, we have a second from Councilmember Gallagher. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, and that will be unanimous. Next, we will have item D from the consent agenda. I'll let our town manager
Okay.
read that one for us.
This is Resolution 2026-004 to call a public hearing for a rezoning request. And I'll have our planning director, Lynn Cochran, to come up, and routinely that is what he would handle.
Good evening. I hope everyone is doing well. L115 is a request by Four Star Development and McAdams for rezoning of a property at the southeast corner of Lewisville, Indiana and Robin Hood Roads. They made their application last fall. The planning board has heard this case and did vote to recommend approval. I hope everyone got those minutes that I sent out today. What this resolution does today is simply declare, yes, we're going to set a public hearing for February to consider this item in its full at that point. We'll still have our February briefing as the town council, and then our February action meeting is where this hearing will take place. That's the short and sweet of it. I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any discussion, council? Oh, go ahead, Councilman. I'm sorry, I didn't see you, Jerry. Thank you.
Perhaps this can wait for the hearing, but I know at the briefing meeting, several council members had addressed concern about the fact that this project is going to displace residents of Lewisville. And I know that the developer does not have the legal obligation to make any concessions to help the citizens. But if we could think about, before the hearing as a group, in terms of what kind of help we're going to offer to these citizens who are going to be displaced, in terms of resources, recommendations for resources. I know I did read in the minutes, I believe that they had a year to a year and a half notice before they have to move. Am I right?
According to the applicants,
Okay.
what was reported to us, yes.
Okay, and the other thing that this just kind of triggered a thought for me, in terms of, can there be any incentives? There might not be a precedent for this, but can there be any incentive for the developer to do something to help the residents who are going to be displaced, in terms of, can they make, possibility, an option for affordable segments of the development to help those residents, or in general to help our community, affordable housing as an issue? Because here's clearly a population that is having difficulty who would have it relocating within our town. So it's just a thought that I just wanted to put out there. So.
I thank you, Councilmember Gallagher. I myself do agree. It was very concerning to hear that about those folks. I also do care about affordable housing, and it's one of those things where we can control what we can't control. I myself plan to go out there and do some canvassing to do a little bit of a deep dive to see what's going on with their current situation, what possible things do they have in the works. And I also will be partnering myself with our Forsyth County to just kind of learn what we can do to at least give them some type of feeling that they are cared about. And so that's something that I'll be doing, and I think Ms. Gallagher will be doing that as well, making a trip out there to that neighborhood. Some of them own their mobile homes, some of them don't, but we want to go out there and at least add value however we can.
Mr. Mayor,
Sure.
if you don't mind, I'd just like to remind the board of one thing, council. This is, of course, just purely to set the hearing for statutory advertising purposes. It is not the hearing.
Right.
And so we don't want to inadvertently fall into a hearing because we have a oncoming, well, in some of these meetings, we have an oncoming public comment session.
Okay.
So we don't want to have a false hearing when the law requires advertisement. I know you know that, but I just want to, because we've begun discussing a little bit of substantive matters about the petition that must be held in February because of the notice requirement. Secondly, I think your interest and concern in the topic that you've raised is natural and it's understandable. You just want to be clear in the event that you hear this, that, we don't, when we are placing conditions on applications for approval, there are certain steps that have to be there. And I did not hear you say this is a condition of approval. And of course, you will clarify that when we get there. But I just want to remind the council that encouragement or discussion of a matter is different than it being conditioned onto something, because the law is very restrictive on when you can place additional conditions and how that happens. There is a process of doing that, and planning director will share that with you, of course, in briefings and all of that, because this is new. Holding these hearings is new for you, and it's a little bit of a technical act, so we'll do that. So I think the effort toward leadership and learning and sharing information gained is fine. That can be done outside of this chamber. But when you're in the mode of a hearing, this is a legislative hearing, which is less restrictive than a quasi-judicial hearing, which we'll talk about at some point coming. But I just wanted to alert you to that and kind of speak that into the record.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Al. Okay. Any further discussion on this? May I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
We have a motion from Councilmember Allen.
I'll second.
All right, second from Councilmember Franklin. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, and that is unanimous. All right, and so now we will move on to our administrative reports from our town manager, Stacy Tolbert. Let you take off.
All right, thank you, Mayor. A few things that are happening in January that I would like to share. First off, Christmas tree collection begins Monday, January 12th. Trees should be out by the curb, free of lights and ornaments by 6 a.m. on Monday, January 12th. And we'd like to remind folks that there will only be one pass-through made through town. The town's annual e-cycling event will take place on Saturday, January 17th, from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. We are going to have this year set up next door, at the Public Works facility. A list of accepted items can be found on our website. Also, town facilities will be closed on Monday, January 19th, in observance of Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And then lastly, the annual town council retreat will be held January 30th and 31st. And as always, more information about these items can be found on our town website.
Thank you. Next, we'll have our clerk report.
Yes, Council. I just wanted to take a moment tonight to make sure that the public is aware that we are accepting applications for board and committee appointments for the 2026 year appointments. So those are available to be submitted to myself through either my email, which is townclerk@louisvillennc.net, or they can drop them off here at Town Hall. Those are due by the end of January, and then council will be making those appointments and considerations in March. So we just want to make sure that the public is aware. I've received a few applications, but could use just get a lot more.
So when you say a few, how many would you say?
I might have gotten 8 to date.
Okay. Well, yeah, if I can, I would love to add a plug on that. I really do have a passion for civic engagement, which is the reason why I'm here in the first place. And I challenge all of our citizens out there, no matter what your background is or your profession, if you have some experience and if you care about the town of Lewisville, we would love to have your voice at the table. We would love to have applications to have to sift through to really counsel and make hard decisions. That's the goal, because really the citizens are our best advisors. And so the way the town is set up is to have these committees, because these advisors are really important to us as we make decisions that affect the town's people. So if you could take the time to look into one of our committees, I really would appreciate that myself. So.
Madam Clerk, can I get clarification on one thing? I believe previously, prior to 2026, we had one opening on Parks and Rec and one opening on the ZBOA, correct?
And one on the municipal service district.
And I suppose that since we did not get any applicants for those open positions, we're going to seek to fill all of them in March. Is that correct?
I have received 2 for the Parks and Rec. That was also open through the end of January. So the 2 that we've received for Parks and Recreation, the manager and I will conduct interviews in February and bring that to you hopefully in February for those appointments to be made, or one appointment. We have not received any for the MSD or the ZBOA.
Okay, thank
And
you.
I have reached out to those chairs and asked them to kind of shake the trees and see if they could stir up some interest.
Thank you.
Thank you, Angie. All right. Next, we will have, for the good of order, we will have public comments. This is the second opportunity for you guys to come up and address the council of anything that's on your heart or on your mind. We'd love to hear it. All right. Looks like we don't have any further council comments or any further public comments. We'll have time for council comments from the council. I'll start with right to left. If you have any final comments, Matt. Or Councilmember Wilder. Sorry, Matt. I know you too well.
I don't have any comments on what we talked about today, but I do have some, for the good of the order, a new issue. Billy, you were at the holiday movie, and we had an issue with the audio with the movie. Is there any way we could find a solution so that next year we have, or if we have another holiday movie, if we can have something more tech savvy, a plug and play, so we can have volume when the movie starts?
I can definitely talk to the manager about that and our Public Works and our events coordinator to see if they can look into that.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's all I
will
have.
add, Mr. Wilder, with it being Home Alone, the movie that was chosen, with it being a rather old movie. We actually had 4 different copies from locations because we noticed the quality of the movie wasn't great.
Yeah.
So we're pretty sure that the difficulties that we had was really the quality of the movie and the different, but so hopefully we won't be having that issue in the future, but can definitely make sure and look towards other avenues to make sure that we have great sound. So, but thank you.
That's all I have.
Just want to thank the staff for doing such a phenomenal job and wish everyone a Happy New Year.
Thank you. Yeah, I as well want to say Happy New Year to you. Well, I'm so sorry. I should go last. Go ahead. I'm so sorry, guys. Councilmember Gallagher.
No, ditto. Just Happy New Year to all the residents of Lewisville, and I'm just honored to be here on Town Council for 2026.
I as well wanted to wish everyone a Happy New Year, and I appreciate all of the members of our community, and I look forward to spending this 2026 with the residents of Lewisville.
I'm good to go.
Awesome. Well, I will say also Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you all. One thing that I like to emphasize for the new year myself is we're always looking for ways to better ourselves or maybe fast, whether it's food, whether it's social media. Even though today is the 8th, I do challenge you all who are out there watching to pick an item to separate yourself from, even if it's for the next 20-something days of January. It will make you stronger to take a fast from something and have more time to focus on what's important. That's just my last little piece for everyone for the New Year's.
Mayor, I apologize. I would like to back up and say this. If you're able to give blood, please give blood. I don't want to get that, that out there. We have an upcoming blood drive at Mary Alice Warren Community Center next month, so I'll give it a different place. So.
Good. Thank you, Councilmember Franklin. Okay, well, we have come to the end of the first meeting of 2026. I want to ask for a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
All right, we have a motion from Councilmember Franklin to adjourn.
Second.
Second from Councilmember Newsom. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, and that is unanimous. Thanks for coming out, guys. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.